Hey, Myles again with Tactical Hyve, and in this video I want to talk to you about shooting one-handed, but specifically potential differences that you should consider between, let's say, shooting for maximum performance in terms of accuracy and speed, marksmanship, perhaps in a competition setting, versus what you might want to do in a defensive shooting scenario. And this is something that we talk about in our Force and Force classes, and just over the past weekend we talked about it as well and kind of emphasized the point that there's a difference. Where you may have seen in the past, I've discussed one technique that a lot of competition shooters use, and rightfully so, and that is when shooting with one arm. I'm clear and safe here, okay? When shooting with one arm, to get the maximum speed and accuracy, you want to make sure you have a really good stance. And I'll angle out here so you can see it, where my target was over here, I'm exaggerating, putting a lot of my weight forward here, actually keeping my arm locked up here in this particular position so that I can absorb the recoil. And if you look at the video, and I'll put a link to it, look at the video that I created, it works very, very well to get your sights back on target so you can take another shot immediately. And that is in comparison to, let's say, maybe not locking this out and kind of shooting it maybe squared like this, and you'll see the gun pop up like this. So it takes a little bit longer to get your sights back on target. So I won't go in depth because the video that I'm going to link to covers it, but you see that a lot in sport, and as I mentioned, for a good reason, because it allows people to shoot fast and accurately. But now, if you're talking about in a self-defense situation, one of the reasons why you might not want to do that, and before I get into it, in a self-defense situation, you're going to do whatever you need to do to get that shot off, right? But of course, during training, the idea is we train to a certain method, and that the more you do so, the chances are higher that however you train, that's going to come out in the actual altercation. But going back to what I was talking about, I'm going to use you as a threat, okay? And again, I'm clear here, so I'm going to point the gun towards you. This is the method I just showed, where for a lot of competition shooters, this makes a lot of sense, okay? Where they're bladed, and this absorbs recoil really good and gets the gun back on target. But from a self-defense perspective, you might want to stay squared up, and this is what we recommend too. Whether you have your shoulder a little bit forward or here, that's more of a matter of style, but the main idea here is to keep square. Why is that the case? We talk a lot about timers and switches in our classes, and just to give you a Cliff Notes version, you hit a switch, let's say a spinal column here or in the T box, it's a switch, it's a light switch. You hit, that person is going to be out. Right? Whereas if you hit a timer, and there are different types of timers, there are short timers, there are long timers. If you hit a timer, maybe in the liver or wherever, liver or kidney, they're going to possibly bleed out, but it's going to take some time, all right? So timers and switches are things that can be hit here. You're a wider target, yes, but the chances of hitting a switch are less likely compared to if I was completely bladed like this. Where if I'm bladed, imagine, where's my spinal column? It's now, you could pretty much hit anywhere here, and there's a good chance you're going to hit that spinal column. Of course you can miss, but notice now, compare this, where my spine is, to this. If I get shot here, I can potentially get shot here, and I can live. The timers are being hit, not switches, all right? Another thing is, if you get shot here, you get hit through one lung, through the other lung, and you're pretty much done. Whereas if I am shot here, through one lung, I still have a chance. Again, that's a timer. Right? I still have a chance to live. So if you are shooting defensively, or you train for defensive encounters, you may want to shoot this way where you're squared. Get used to this muscle memory, the neurotransmitters to understand the sensitivity of this position and stay right here, okay? And then, if you shoot sport, then yeah, you might want to do this, right? But you should understand the pros and cons to both, where in a defensive situation, if you do this, and again, you're going to shoot whenever you need to shoot. Maybe I'm running away and I shoot this way. No, there's no problem. I'm not saying, or no one's saying that, okay, I could take the shot here. No, I got to wait. I got to square up. No, that's not the point. But the point is just to bring awareness that when you are training and shooting one-armed, you may have been taught this way from a competition standpoint, and it's great for getting shots off fast and accurately, but in a defensive situation, you probably want to shoot squared up, and vice versa. If you have learned this, right, And let's say you start shooting sport, in order to get the fastest shots, the most accurate shots, you'll probably want to do this, okay? So be aware of both techniques. They're both pros and cons to it, but from a defensive set standpoint, you don't want to open up your switches or just have switches exposed, because if you do get hit this way, where I'm turned, bladed like this, chances of hitting a switch are very, very high, and I'm pretty much going to be out for the count, all right? So keep that in mind. If you guys like this content, want to see more, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.